boycott over AI valuation system. And much later, Ghana Education Service closes teacher recruitment portal after massive oversubscription with over 40,000 applicants competing for only 7,000 available positions nationwide. I am Enyonam Haligah. Details of our headlines and other stories. Please stay with us. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm going to our first story where President John Mahama is set to officially launch Ghana's free primary healthcare program today. The pre-primary healthcare initiative is designed to ensure that every citizen, regardless of location, gains access to quality healthcare. The program, estimated to cost 1.2 billion annually, will roll out the first in 150 underserved districts across the country, with about 6,000 healthcare workers expected to be recruited this year to staff the new facilities. Now, ahead of the ceremony, the Minister for Health, Kwabena Mensah Akando, visited key facilities to inspect logistics for the healthcare project.
The concept of the free primary healthcare, apart from its freeness, which leads to the affordability, it's a complete shift from sick care to healthcare, detection of the disease on time, early detection, and if possible, preventing the disease before you get its complications. We have market women who are very busy, and they will have to go to the market, but when they have this posts at the market, it becomes easily accessible. Not have to travel long distances to access healthcare. We know we have a backlog of health professionals, and government has a deliberate policy of making sure they get employed. This year, we are going to recruit health professionals, and in this case, we are not doing only nurses and midwives, as has been the case in the past.
That was the Minister for Health, Kwabena Mensah Akando, there, where we understand the President, John Mahama, is set to officially launch the Ghana Free Primary Healthcare Program later today. Now, this is designed to ensure that every citizen, regardless of location, gains access to quality healthcare. Now, away from that, 4 hectares of the Etiwa Forest Reserve have been destroyed by illegal miners. Concerned citizens of the Etiwa landscape at a press conference are demanding an immediate halt to these activities and strict enforcement to preserve the forest's rich biodiversity. They intend to petition the government representatives at all levels. Now let's take a listen to the convener of the Concerned Citizens of the Etiwa landscape, Bafo Ampemdanko Amponsa.
Etiwa is not just a forest. It is a national heritage and a lifeline. It serves as a major watershed for key rivers, and its destruction is a direct assault on water security, biodiversity, public health, and the survival of future generations. Swift development of enforcement teams to dismantle all illegal mining camps and halt operations without delay. Arrest and prosecution of perpetrators, including financiers, organizers, and collaborators enabling these activities.
And you heard the convener for the Concerned Citizens of Etiwa landscape, Bafo Ampemdanko Amponsa, there. Now we'll take you to the ports where freight forwarders across Ghana's port and borders have begun a 4-day boycott of duty payment in protest against the government's introduction of the publican AI system to determine charges. Many banks across the Long Room and Golden Jubilee terminal were virtually empty, with no agents present to pay duties. My colleague Joseph Armstrong-Gould Dalobe visited the Tema port and reports.
The Tema Long Room is where most clients and agents typically pay their taxes and duties. However, a visit on Tuesday morning revealed that many agents were absent following a boycott declared by the leadership and members of the Freight Forwarders Association. A task force was seen moving around the area to ensure that all members complied with the directive.
In the morning, we deployed our team to go and ensure or to go and monitor the situations. And the feedback is very well. At Golden Jubilee, at MPS, at TBT, at Save Bond, ordinarily, like Tuesday, today, you've seen so many of our people going around and about. But today, like you can see for yourself, there is nobody here.
Paul Mensah is the General Secretary of the Freight Forwarders Association.
Invitations from the Ministry of Transport, which we are preparing to attend on Thursday. We are also waiting for other calls, but as I said, for now, still the action is in force. We have a lot of issues that have been raised over the past few weeks and still waiting for solutions. We are only looking for solutions.
The president of the association, Stephen Ajokache, added that the boycott is also being observed at other land borders across the country.
We want to tell government we are never against their policies. They should get it very clear. All the borders or exit points, they are also complying. That is what is going on. We are only telling them they should come back to the table again and restructure the issue, and we are done. That is all we are looking for.
The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi-Sapon, has been explaining the purpose of the introduction of the Publican AI system.
Publican will help the officers to accurately determine the country of origin, because that's a key factor in the determination of the taxes. Second is the classification. Every product manufactured and traveling across the world has a unique code. And when you miss that unique code, you will not pay the right taxes. And finally, how much is an item paid for which the taxes ought to be collected? Publican does not make a decision. Publican facilitate and assist the officer to arrive at a decision.
That was a report from my colleague Joseph Armstrong. Now we'll take you to education, where education think tank EduWatch is raising concerns about what it describes as a growing inequality and deficiency in Ghana's education system. In its first quarter of 2026, EduWatch says despite billions of cedis allocated to the sector, major gaps remain in its implementation. Let's take a listen to the Executive Director for EduWatch, Kofi Asare.
Monitoring of the part distribution found positive impact on girls' participation and hygiene, including reduced reliance on improvised materials, as well as reduced financial burden on teachers. These teachers previously used their own money to buy sanitary pads for poor girls. And so government providing free sanitary pads meant that a burden had been lifted off their shoulders. There were noticeable inconsistencies in product quality and suitability. 3 variations of pads were distributed: thin, mid-thick, and thick. Only Adenta municipality received all 3 variants, while the other districts received either 1 or 2.
That was the Executive Director for EduWatch, which is an education think tank, Kofi Asare there. Meanwhile, the Ghana Education Service has officially closed the teachers' recruitment application portal due to oversubscription. Now, according to the service, more than 40,000 teachers submitted applications despite 7,000 positions being available. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, who announced this at a news conference in Accra, urged applicants who are unable to complete the process to reapply when the next recruitment opens. Now we'll take you to the court, where the Supreme Court has indefinitely adjourned the hearing of review application by NDC Pandai parliamentary candidate Daniel Nsala Wakbala against the Apex Court's decision, which announced the Tamale High Court's dismissal of the parliamentary election. The NDC's parliamentary candidate is challenging the Supreme Court's 4-1 decision, which nullified the 2024 election and the subsequent rerun order by the High Court. In court on Tuesday, April 14, before the case was called, Justice Gabriel Scott Poman, who is the president of the panel, which heard the original suit but was on another matter, indicated that it was a misstep and, as a result, would have to set a date for the hearing of the review application. Justice Poman then adjourned the case indefinitely. Well, we bring you subsequent updates on that in our subsequent bulletin. But that brings us to the first half of this morning's bulletin. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyonam Haligah. Business News is right up.
3FM.
Sunrise on 3FM, the best in the morning. Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3FM.
It's now time for business news here on Sunrise 3FM 92.7. Coming up this morning, fuel prices could fall by up to 1 cedi per litre as three business sources review planned review of petroleum levies amid rising palm closes. Also, rising insider fraud risk pushes Ghana Association of Banks to intensify ethics training and governance drive to safeguard public trust in the banking sector.
One fraud happening in the banking industry is one fraud too many. We do not want to record any kind of fraud. If fraud happens as a community, it shakes our DNA.
Also, Ghana Stock Exchange surges past 252 billion cedis as strong investor demand lifts banking, insurance, and telecom shares. Details of our headlines and other stories, please stay with us. Now go on to a first story where fuel prices in Ghana could fall by as much as 1 cedi per litre in the coming days. That's according to three business sources within the finance and energy ministries. The expected drops follows a directive by President John Dramani Mahama to review taxes and levies on petroleum products as consumers face rising costs at the pumps. There's more in the following three business reports.
Fuel prices have increased sharply in recent weeks, driven by higher global crude oil prices and a marginal weakening of the local currency, which have raised the cost of imports. Petrol prices have risen from around 10 cedis per litre to more than 13 cedis, while diesel is selling for about 17 cedis per litre. Government is now considering measures to ease the pressure, including the possible suspension of some levies within the petroleum price structure. A group of civil society organizations has also called for deeper cuts, proposing a reduction of 1 cedi 65 pesos in the current price build-up. They say the move will provide relief for households and businesses and could be supported by increased revenue from crude oil production and exports. Three business sources say an official announcement on the measures is expected as early as April the 15th, with consumers likely to see a reduction of up to 1 cedi per litre, although details of the specific levies to be affected remain unclear. The government has yet to formally confirm the changes as discussions continue on how best to cushion consumers while managing the impact on public finances.
Now, away from that, the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and the International Energy Agency are warning the ongoing war in the Middle East could trigger food security challenges. They say it could lead to job loss and high fuel prices in Ghana, other countries, and low-income economies. This is contained in a joint statement issued in Washington, D.C. on the sidelines of the World Bank IMF spring meetings. The head of the three institutions met on Monday as part of coordination group established in April early last year to strengthen their response to conflict, energy, and economic impacts. Now to some other stories, as the Ghana Association of Banks has raised fresh concerns over the increasing fraud risk within the banking sector, particularly the growing involvement of some staff in fraudulent activities. Chief Executive Officer John Iwa says the trend threatens public confidence and long-term stability of the industry.
The Ghana Association of Banks says fraud remains one of the biggest threats confronting the financial sector, with insider involvement becoming an increasing source of concern. Speaking at the opening of a board-level ethical training program for bank directors in Accra, Chief Executive Officer John Iwa said stronger ethical leadership is needed to protect the credibility of banks and rebuild trust.
One fraud happening in the banking industry is one fraud too many. So we do not want to record any kind of fraud. So if fraud happens as a community, it shakes our DNA. It shakes, what makes us the banking industry that we call ourselves. When Bank of Ghana issues the fraud report and it shows a certain trend which is moving negatively, particularly with staff involvement, we get worried. And so the training and the public awareness campaign that we are embarking on is all part of the processes we have put in place to help us address that phenomenon.
John Ewa noted that the association is working closely with stakeholders to promote stronger governance standards and integrity at every level of banking operations.
Working with the Chartered Institute of Bankers, there is an ethics certification program where every staff of every bank will have to go through an online training program every year to certify that you've gone through this, you understand, and then you get your certificate out of it. And again, as part of the broader campaign, we are also going to embark on another round of fraud certification, more or less, for every staff, not just tellers and the people in the branches.
The association believes stronger board oversight and continuous ethics training will be key in reducing fraud risks and sustaining confidence in Ghana's banking industry.
Now, away from that, the Ghana Stock Exchange has recorded a major boost in investor confidence, with market capitalization crossing 252 billion cedis mark after renewed buying interest in banking, insurance and telecommunications stocks pushed up the benchmark sharply high. There's more in the following 3 Business reports.
The GSE posted a strong performance on Tuesday as investors returned to key equities, driving total market value beyond 252 billion cedis. The rally was led by renewed demand for banking and insurance stocks, alongside gains in the telecommunications sector. Market watchers say the sharp rise signals growing confidence in listed companies and expectations of improved earnings in the months ahead. Among the top gainers were Ecobank Transnational Incorporated and SIC Insurance, both recording strong price increases during the session. MTN Ghana also advanced and remained one of the most actively traded stocks on the market. GCB Bank added to the positive momentum, while Cal Bank recorded the highest trading volume, showing continued interest in financial sector counters. Despite the overall bullish sentiment, a few stocks closed lower. Ecobank Ghana, Guinness Ghana Breweries, Republic Bank Ghana and Standard Chartered Bank Ghana all registered modest declines. Analysts say the latest gains reinforce the stock market's strong performance since the start of the year, with financial stocks continuing to outperform. Tuesday's close above the 13,200 mark for the benchmark index is being viewed as another sign of resilience as investors position themselves across major sectors of the economy.
That was a 3 Business News Desk report on the Ghana Stock Exchange surging past 252 billion cedis due to strong investor demand. Now we'll take you to the forex market to see how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some key commodities are also faring on the global market.
The interbank foreign exchange market, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis, 3 pesos. It gained 1 peso. The British pound is selling at 14 cedis, 85 pesos. It gained 3 pesos. The euro is selling at 12 cedis, 93 pesos. It also gained 2 pesos. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at the Forex Bureau near you. In the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $95.20 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,749.75 per ounce, down by $17.14. Cocoa is trading at $3,327 per ton, up by $87.
That was an update from the Forex and commodities markets. That'll be all for business news here on 3FM 92.7. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyonam Haligah.